Our team has been assigned to evaluate the eligibility of a prospective light rail tram stop on Coogee Bay Road between Perouse Road and Dudley Street based on Austroad's design specifications. The team will propose a location of the tram stop and deliver a detailed design concept. The decision making is justified by considerations based on environmental/property assessment, space proofing, safety and design, and human factors.
So, to first get started on with the project, a location for the tram is to be selected along Coogee Bay Road. Our group had to undertake several activities in order to better understand all the users affected by the project and the requirements needed to build a tram stop. So, first we started with the basics. By using Google Maps and 6 Maps, we took notes of the geometrical features along Coogee Bay Road. This included the T intersections, the length of the road, and in particular, the width of the road. What we noticed was that past Claremont College and towards Dudley Street, the width of the road had narrowed to 12 meters, meaning it was harder to fit a road and transtop system there compared to the wider road from Perouse Road to Claremont College, which was around 17 to 18 meters in width. Thus, as a group, we decided to eliminate the narrow section of Coogee Bay Road. This left us with two proposed locations to build a 70-meter tram stop in location 1 being in front of the residential area and location 2 being in front of Claremont College. Our group then proceeded to have a site visit to have a better idea of the community along Coogee Bay Road. Several notable features included the college, the aged care centre, and several residential areas, which all factored in our selection of the site between location 1 and location 2. Finally, to decide our proposed location, our group weighed in on the pros and cons of each site in a matrix table. Ultimately, we believe that the advantages of location 2 far outweighed location 1 through an internal vote. Further, to reaffirm that location 2 will be a better site than location 1, we conducted a survey on whether students preferred a tram in a residential area or in front of a school. Overwhelmingly, location 2 had a better response mainly due to the reduction in noise pollution from construction.
The main concerns on deciding where to situate the light rail stop were the residence and the width of the road. Luckily, a stretch of road that fulfilled both these requirements was found. As seen in the bottom left figure, the 17-meter stretch mostly avoids residential areas and is situated in between Claremont College and a Catholic aged care centre. Furthermore, the pavement and trees can be carved away to ensure a desirable width is achieved. After deciding on the location, an underground utilities assessment was performed using the dial before you dig service to ensure the light rail stop will not intrude on any existing infrastructure. Assumption 1 was made based off an anonymous survey. Although existing bus services exist between Coogee and Sydney, the light rail system will put less pressure on the general bus lines and provide a more streamlined method to reach the CBD. Assumption 2 was made based off general prudence. It was decided to situate the light rail stop away from residential areas to minimize noise pollution for Coogee residents. Finally, assumption 3 was made based on Coogee's general geographical location. Coogee's immediate proximity to the beach and the city meant that it would be an attractive prospect for home seekers, tourists, and recreationists, thus providing an influx of consumers.
When the final destination of our intended light rail platform was decided upon, Felix and I quickly got to work designing different prototypes for our proposed light rail platform. With reference to Austroad's guidelines, it was ensured that all considerations were considered carefully when it came to adding dimensions to our design prototypes. With an adequate amount of time and effort dedicated to drafting table, two prototypes were conclusively drafted that we deemed most feasible for the task and objective of the project at hand, and these models are as follows. Both designs took the 18-meter width of the road and the existing retaining wall into account. That being said, additional road width is mandatory for our project to be successful, as the current road constricts in width as you go down Coogee Bay Road. Our initial design considered the ease of convenience for able and also aged care residents that exist at the area, and our final design considered the increased safety of pedestrians by implementing a more symmetrical design of the tram stop, such that the light rail and vehicle traffic are not opposing directions on the same side of the road as is present in our initial design, as you can see over here.
For our design, we have broken it down into three main requirements, being safety, ease of access, and comfort. In order to do so, we had to make some assumptions and list out the main non-compliances. First of all, we assumed that the cross-sectional width of each element would be adequate after pushing back the existing pavements and acquiring land where needed. Since the project is an extension to the existing L2 light rail, a total unobstructed platform length of 67 meters would be required. Another issue we face is finding a potential solution to allow commuters on the elevated footpath to access the street level through a ramp without sabotaging the structural integrity of the retaining wall. At this stage, further research would be needed to develop the solution.
Now let's take a look at the design. In order to adhere to safety, pedestrian traffic lights are utilized to enable commuters to cross the road safely. School zone speed cameras are also implemented in both vehicular lanes to deter reckless drivers. In addition, safety rails are added near the crossing to encourage patrons to use the pedestrian traffic lights. In order to provide easy access to the platform for elderly and disabled, we included an access ramp to the platform. We also placed an abundance of open machines on both sides of every column. Tactile paving is also applied on the platform edges to assist the visually impaired. A public address system is also implemented over the entirety of the platform. Finally, the comfort of our commuters is very crucial. In order to provide it, we have incorporated a canopy covering most of the platform from direct sunlight and rain. Benches are also spaced out along the platform to provide comfort and personal space for patrons.
Our program for completion is structured based on the 3 deliverables. The execution of these deliverables is optimized through the utilization of Gantt chart scheduling, wherein tasks can be allocated within certain timeframes. Our Gantt chart is color coordinated to represent complete and incomplete tasks, and the teams allocated towards that activity. Overall, our progressive Gantt chart system has improved communication streams and team cohesion, wherein members can view the progress/tasks of the project with more clarity and avoid time mismanagement.
Many issues arose as the project progressed. The software available to us were limited, with most of the team being unfamiliar with the programs required to produce our design. Due to our lack of experience with these programs and the general limitations these programs hold, measurement inconsistencies were prevalent. However, they were able to give us a general overview, providing just enough information for us to advance. With the data gathered from softwares like Google Maps and Six Maps, it quickly became evident that large chunks of our prescribed road sections were deemed unfeasible for a light rail stop, which had to be taken into consideration when choosing a location. Another issue we realized in the process of designing our light rail stop is the way the pandemic will have skewed our survey results, as travel and social distancing restrictions remain strict. Furthermore, scheduling team meetings have proven to be a near impossible task, since none of us have similar timetables. Being at different stages of our course progression, coupled with the ever-changing COVID-19 situation, the time and location of our weekly meetings have had to be revised regularly, with in-person meetings hindered, making it difficult to form meaningful connections with other members, as we have had no prior involvement with each other. Recently, the COVID-19 restrictions have been changing on short notice. As a result, the team and I have been able to visit the site only once. This lessens our exposure to the site, obstructing a more in-depth analysis of the road section.